All right, everyone, we are ready for our next game, Squirrel with a Gun by iswimfly. Take it away.
Hi everybody, I'm iswimfly. This is Squirrel with a Gun. This game is ridiculous. I love it. It came out in the middle of last year, and I am joined again by Limey.
Hi, I don't run this game. I don't modify this game. I don't moderate this game. I'm here because Swim DM'd me earlier and was like, "Oh, you're gonna be off host shift when my run happens," and I'm like, "I could be on commentary?" Question mark. And they're
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, let's do
let's
that."
go. Let's
So I'm
go.
here now.
Get
I know how to have a good time.
the third dose of us in one marathon. This is awesome. All right, so I'll keep the intro short, but really quickly, I do have to explain a couple mechanics before we get into the actual game. This is obviously Squirrel with a Gun. The guns are, I'll say, life-sized. They are large compared to the squirrel, which causes the squirrel to be affected by recoil. I can use this to either propel myself backward, as you just saw, or I can use it to kind of get like a double jump of sorts, where I can aim straight down and bounce up. So those are the two core mechanics that you're really going to see me using a lot throughout this entire run. In addition to that, the yellow little circles with bullets in the middle are used to reload at any time. If I perfectly time the reload to release, if I release the reload key as it ends, I get an infinite amount of ammo with that indicated by the red ammo next to me. So I can now use infinite ammo for as long as it's red. I'll be using that a lot as well throughout the run. And with all that being said, we can get into the run because there's going to be a cutscene. So I'm just going to go up here. I'll let you know when time starts. There's a menu in between the cutscene and the start of the run. The game tries to get you to save beforehand, but I'm on a save that is basically already maxed, so I don't really care. And now we get this cutscene of introducing the final fight. So this is the agency. They're evil, and they want to demolish the neighborhood and turn it into a parking lot. And to help them do that, they're going to summon the Norse god Ratatoskr.
The what?
The Norse god Ratatoskr.
Right.
Look, it's Ratatoskr. Awesome little guy. And they're going to mind control him with the mind control button.
What? There's a mind control button? This game is like My Hero Ultra, but for real.
Oh my god. So now they have Ratatoskr under their control. Ratatoskr is going to destroy the neighborhood that you would normally see throughout the entirety of 80%, and with that, he's going to create a parkour challenge that we have to get through. And once we get through that challenge of a lot of platforming, we will have to fight the Ratatoskr at the end. This category involves beating the secret harder version of the boss fight, the Golden Ratatoskr fight that you unlock after beating the normal Ratatoskr fight. I believe it's 5 times, it might be 3, I don't remember because I did it a while ago and it doesn't re-unlock. So yeah, that's gonna be the run. We're gonna start with parkour, end with an awesome boss fight. Gonna be some sick music for that boss fight too, but with all that being said, Limey, you want to count me down? Because we are at the time to go.
Yeah, we can start time in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Thanks. Alright, so immediately I'm going to find the pistol here, blow up these propane tanks to get these guys out of my way so that they don't annoy me and try and shoot me. Because if they shoot me, it will cause me to kind of get stunned and I won't be able to do my normal movement. I'm going to get a perfect reload here. If you see me turn around and do like that 180 really quickly, it's usually to propel myself forward with a bullet. I'm going to use these umbrellas to get up top, and then we're going to do a little skip to skip a majority of the inside of that house. So there, you can kind of see me doing that backwards tech again of like spinning my camera around, shooting backward, and then turning it back around so I can see where I'm going. Here is where the skip is going to happen. This house turns on its side, but if I get up here, I can go into this secret back area here, where you're normally supposed to have access to this much later in the house. Just saves me a little bit of time from having to go inside and do platforming.
I do want to mention this is a real concern that happens in real life, so
Yeah.
it's a bit scary for the squirrel, maybe.
Every now and again, your house just decides to turn 90 degrees, you know?
Yeah.
So by getting up on top of the house there, I was able to skip that entire section that's below me, which is a really nice little time save there. And now I have to throw away the gun and get ready to jump with no gun. Thank you, tutorial. And we're gonna run along these wires here. By wiggling back and forward while climbing up poles in this game, not all of them, but most of them, you can actually climb up them a little bit faster than just holding up. So that little bit of wiggling there that you saw with the purple arrow was me wiggling back and forth to just increase my speed as I climb up the pole a little bit.
Do you think that the squirrel ever wants to like bite the power line?
Probably, you know? Looks tasty. It's like licorice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, as a squirrel, I know that would be so tasty.
Anyways, we got another power line section here, but there really isn't going to be much to talk about until I pick up the shotgun. So if you have any time for, if you want to do any marathon announcements, we have a lot of time here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a very interesting run so far. I've never seen anything quite like it, but it's very entertaining nonetheless. As a reminder to everyone in chat, you can type !donate to get the donation link directly to our Kiltify campaign. We are raising money for Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center, and while you're at it, you can donate towards one of our wonderful incentives here. Currently, we have an incentive open for the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, and that one here, yes, that is the incentive to do a bonus Stormy Ascent run, where the runner will do a bonus run of the Stormy Ascent level, and it adds about extra 10 minutes of gameplay. So if you want to see that, make sure to donate, and make sure to put your money towards that incentive.
Alright, so I did a little skip there just to skip having to run around that entire roundabout by getting infinite ammo, using it to propel myself backward and then across the gap. Saves a little bit of time. It took a little more setup because I got the agents to aggro onto me and try to take me out. Trying to avoid the the extreme version of that. But now I'm going to get out of the shotgun section and into the 6-shooter section. The outfit that I have on my Squirrel, aside from the blue nuclear fur color that I have, is entirely intended for this speedrun. Here I'm going to unlock the 6-shooter pistol, which normally you only get a certain number of bullets that you can shoot down before the game will stop giving you that upward momentum like those double jumps. But by equipping the cowboy hat to my Squirrel, I get the full 6 shots that I can use to double jump, which is a really nice thing because I can do a skip coming up here. Just skip having to drop the gun and climb on all these cacti. 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Had enough to spare.
Are you telling me there's skips in this run?
Yeah, there are indeed skips in this run.
No way.
There are skips, but no glitches, I promise. There are glitches in any percent, though, so thankfully we are not running any percent.
I was going to say, I've seen you do any percent before, and that is a speedrun.
It is an awesome speedrun. Shotgun enemies are some of the hardest to deal with because they have a wide spread, and I am trying to avoid getting shot and knocked off. Like I said before, I will get stunned if I get hit by them. Case in point. Thankfully, there's a checkpoint right here, so I'm not too concerned about this death. There's a bunch of checkpoints throughout this entire run. Sometimes they just decide that they want to shoot me either through walls or they just want to shoot me when the timing is inconvenient for me. So I try to bait out the shots and then play around it, but there's only so much I can do because it's random enemy AI. But yeah, this section isn't too long, so I can just get back there pretty quickly. And then I will give that another shot. Hopefully not get destroyed by them this time.
Yeah, it looks just a bit terrifying, respectfully, because you're just going up on like a rail, and then there's just like these agents, weapon mark, with shotguns, weapon mark.
Yep.
I'm still not really sure what's going on, but...
You know, they're agents with shotguns, and it is really hard to avoid them, and I'm just trying to bait their shots by getting into line of sight, then hiding, and waiting for them to stop shooting. Able to shoot through the windows, so I'm... Okay, I thought I was behind the wall, but I guess not. Alright, we'll give it again.
I was gonna say, like, how did you get hit there?
I'll
That
try
looked
for a little
so
bit of a
fun.
safety strat here this time. There's a different way that I can go about this where I try to either steal the shotgun or disarm them so they don't have the shotgun. But it is not... Okay.
That one doesn't
That's
count,
unfortunate. That doesn't count. Run it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the most annoying section of the run because of this, like these enemies here. There isn't a whole lot I can do about them. Thankfully, the enemies behind me don't really pose a threat, because most of them have the 6-shooter that I do, which only fires 1 bullet and is generally pretty easy to avoid. And I feel like by saying that I'm tempting fate, but I will continue to say it, they are not really a threat compared to everyone else here. Alright, so this time, instead of just going in, I'm going to jump over to where the shotgun guy is and attempt to disarm and take the gun. The reason I don't like doing that is it burns one of my reload energies. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna wait for this guy to stop shooting. To get a second shot off. There we go. Now I can get up here. Hopefully get behind. There we go. Now I should be in the clear to just run it. But I'm gonna play it safe because we know how this went last time. Come on. There we go. Okay, now I should be in the clear. Because the rest of these enemies in here don't really aim at the squirrel. And even if I were to get knocked off, I'd have enough bullets to try and recover. Yeah, there's a bunch of enemies here that I just kind of have to ignore, run past. And now we're out of that section and we're into a little bit more of a parkour and platforming section, which is nice. So again, we got a little more time for donations because I'm announcements because I'm just going to be running through this whole section. So if you have any announcements, anything, feel free to chime in.
Yeah, for sure. I also just noticed the squirrel has a tiny cowboy hat, and I love it so much. I wish I had a little tiny cowboy hat for my gecko.
The cowboy hat is important to the run. It helps with the
It
helps
so
with that section we just got through.
But yeah, in addition to monetary donations, type ! donate in chat. Go Rescue is also in need of supplies to keep the pups happy and healthy. They accept dry and canned dog food, bleach, cheap paper towels, laundry detergent, furniture, and even vehicles. You can also go to gorescuedogs.com, click on the How Can I Help tab, and find their Amazon wishlist directly on that site. So let's help out the pups.
Let's help out the pups. I want to say
Echo
that
Tree, you're not gonna believe this when I tell it to you, but have you considered abbreviating Squirrel with a gun?
I have not. What does that spell?
S.
Oh.
SWAG.
This game is awesome.
This game is awesome.
It's full of swag.
It is full of swag. There's a bunch of swag you can put on the squirrel. We're actually going to get to the
squirrel
sections.
is full of swag.
We're gonna get to the section soon where the other piece of swag comes in handy. If you'll notice, my squirrel has kind of a diving uniform on, like a diver suit, which is gonna come in handy in the section coming up, where I'm going to be in an underwater / swimming section, and with that swimming section, hello, hamster wheel, thank you. The diving suit allows me to control my buoyancy by pressing and holding spacebar. I can manipulate whether or not the squirrel sinks or floats. Where normally the squirrel would just kind of float to the top, unless the squirrel was holding a gun, in which case it would sink. Physics are all sorts of weird today. What is happening?
By chance, what game engine is this made in?
This game is made in Unreal Engine 5 and is still actively being updated, so with new updates come new discoveries, we'll put it lightly. And fixes to old discoveries at the same time, so it's kind of a bummer, because some of the time our cool stuff gets patched, which has happened in the past. On any percent, it is optimal to down patch for a specific glitch. There's no glitches allowed here, so I won't talk anymore about that. Anyways,
Swim, I know
scary
how to play
rolling
this game.
section. You do know how to calm this game. Alright, Little more parkour here. We're going to get access to the car where I'm going to do something I'm probably going to regret, but it'll be awesome if it works. So we're going to get
I'm
into
sorry,
the
but
car
that
here.
segment looks exactly like. I don't know what it's called, but there's like a segment on like American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly that. All right, now I'm going to try and line up the car here to do a jump. There we go. Okay, cool. It was lined up on that. Yeah, normally you're supposed to do another rolling section that's a little bit slower, so doing that jump is faster. And now comes in the section where buoyancy is relevant. So the squirrel is going to be in those like water columns that defy physics. And while I'm in
Oh, it's
those...
like Pokemon Platinum.
What's up?
It's like Pokemon Platinum.
Exactly.
In, like the distortion world.
So the water sections here, I can control my buoyancy by pressing space. It also just helps me sink and float a little faster. Kind of just gives me like relatively normal physics. And now we're going to get to probably the most broken section of the run. Again, still no glitches. We are doing no glitches allowed here. However, if I can get this SMG, which I can't, I can go over to the next guy and try and get their SMG. If not, I can just like throw myself off and reload the stage. But the SMG is the most broken gun in the game, so I'm trying to grab one from one of these guys. There we go. And now the SMG has a unique property where it's the only gun in the game that doesn't have a double jump limiter or an ammo limit to how many I can launch myself up with. So I'm going to attempt to skip a majority of the rest of this section here by just kind of rocketing myself over here using my infinite reload ammo and all these reloads that I've been storing up. So just kind of skip all the way over to this section where the rocket launcher enemies are. I'm going to take a little breather here, get another reload, and now throw myself through the rest of this. These guys have a pretty good tracking AI that will, yeah, sometimes just do that. Where I'm now kind of stranded here. There is a save that I can do. If I can get one of them to shoot me and not the guy next to me, I don't know why he aggroed. He should not be able to point blank me with a rocket launcher like that.
I was gonna say, yeah, I
don't think that was a smart
really wanna
decision
shoot
for
my
his
feet
health,
like
but
that.
you know, we vibe.
Yeah.
So we get back, thrown back here, which unfortunately I won't be able to do the full skip, but I'll still be able to do a slight skip, so we'll still have a decent amount of time save. The estimate should account for this, because this section of the run is very unreliable due to all the enemies that I kind of have to rely on for all sorts of nonsense. So we'll get back through here, throw this over. I don't need the grenade launcher, so I'm just going to keep running. I'm going to go down here, try and grab the SMG from this guy again, see if he'll throw it, hopefully not throw it off. But this platform is not designed for him to drop that SMG. Normally, you're supposed to keep the grenade launcher through this section, but by grabbing the SMG, it does make it faster. Please? No? Okay. Alright, guess we'll have to go back. There is a backup pistol that I saw over there that I can try and grab if it is not lost. It is lost. That's awesome. Oh, no, you have it. Okay. I'm going to manipulate him to try and... You gotta be kidding me. Bad RNG all the way through.
The game's trying to bully you right now.
Bad RNG all the way through. This is incredible. It's fine, though. I am getting hit by everything this game can possibly throw at me, though. Really funny. Alright. We will give this another go. Try and get the SMG. If not, I can do this section somewhat intended. Getting the SMG is the only real necessary part. The whole big skip thing is nice, but if it doesn't happen, it's okay. So you know what, we're going to play this extra safe and just try and get the SMG from literally any of these guys. We'll start with this one over here. Do you mind? Thank you. What a nice, what a kind soul. So now we're going to go up. We're going to keep going up. Get a reload
I
here.
just want to say that you said what a kind soul, and that guy is like trying to kill like a rat. Like,
Yeah, not my poor little squirrel.
I don't think that's what a kind soul does. But...
Okay, so we're gonna get up here, which is kind of the backup section here. I'm gonna try and take out as many of these guys as I can. Every time you take out an enemy, they drop that little, like, bullet pine cone, as the game refers to it. So when they drop those, it gives me back the reload energy that I've had before. So I'm just gonna do that to fill up on reload energy and then play that next section a little bit safer by just taking out all the golden agents, which is what you're supposed to do. But normally you're supposed to go into, yeah, the water slide here, which would drop your gun, which is essentially the game's way of saying you're not supposed to have the SMG over here. But I want to keep the SMG over here because it's a very good gun and I want to keep using it. So we're just going to keep going. Use one of my reloads to get over here. These orange bushes will also give me reload energy. As you can see, it now filling up again. So now I just have to be a little bit more careful. Whenever everybody shoots, just try and wiggle to one of the sides and avoid all of the rockets coming at the poor little squirrel in the air. That's a new one. This is insane. So what happened there was a very old bug that we found where the squirrel essentially gets a perfect reload as it gets some form of knockback, and when that happens, the squirrel gets launched, which is why I got sent all the way to the edge of the tornado. That's not supposed to happen. So unfortunately, I am going to lose the SMG here. That's okay, because the sniper rifle is also funny. Unfortunately, I've been hit by about every single piece of bad luck that can possibly affect this run, but I'm just going to take care of these guys before I even have to go over there to avoid having to deal with any of the rocket launchers.
Yeah, I was going to say, the sniper rifle seems a bit big for the little gun, or for the little squirrel.
A little comically large, yeah.
Yeah.
Get down from there. Thank you. So normally that spawns a golden acorn, which is kind of like the equivalent of the moons in Mario Odyssey from the run we just saw. Awesome callback.
Oh, I know that one. I know that one.
Thankfully, we don't need any for this run. However, they are the normal main collectible in this game. I am getting trolled heavily. Ugh. This is wild. Thankfully, it saves your progress when you reload the checkpoint, so I shouldn't have to take everyone out again.
I believe in you.
Thank you. Yeah, that one was kind of my fault. I've never really had to do this way before, because normally I still have the SMG here, or I just reset. So this is a heavily unfortunate backup. But these are all inflatables, so I kind of have to avoid shooting the inflatables to be able to use them as platforms.
Yeah, there was a tutorial a little bit ago that was like, shooting is bad for the inflatables.
Yeah.
You should not have your gun sad face.
Thankfully, we're entering pretty much the final section here, which is Rainbow Road, because of course, everything has to end with Rainbow Road.
Oh wow, this is Rainbow Road.
Yeah, this is Rainbow Road. See? Running into the runners will give me a little bit of a speed boost, but by not running into the first one, I won't have gotten rid of all of them, which means that I'll skip a cutscene that would normally spawn an extra golden acorn.
Time save is time save.
Time save is time save.
This is making me want to boot up Mario Kart Wii. I'm like thinking about it now.
And propel yourself backwards with an SMG in Mario Kart Wii,
Yeah.
as one does.
Yeah, this is vanilla Mario Kart gameplay.
Exactly. Alright, so now this is the last little section where the game kind of wants you to use that jetpack mechanic I talked about before. So there's these reload circles that are going to replenish my ammo. And you're supposed to kind of follow these up to the final boss arena. For the sake of the estimate, I think we're going to call time when I get into the boss fight arena, because the boss fight is kind of on rails to a degree. So time is going to be when I land here. And time. Yeah, so that parkour
GG's.
section, I got plagued by about every single thing that could possibly go wrong in there. I got the shotgun enemies to take me out. I got hit by rockets that I was trying to avoid, which is a little bit unfortunate. But this is the Ratatoskr boss fight. I'm not going to do it, but essentially it would involve breaking down the shield that's around Ratatoskr and taking him out afterward. But there's essentially 4 phases and it takes a little while, so to keep the marathon on schedule, I'm gonna not do that. So yeah, that is Squirrel with a Gun. This is the end game content, so this is kind of the hardest section of the run, and the hardest section of the game. Go play this game. It is on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. It is really fun, and they're constantly updating it. They just released the Gravity Gun update a couple weeks back. Yeah, that'll be it from me. Lime, you got any shoutouts for a third time?
No, this is. I was just hosting, and I had a run, and then I was also on commentary, and then I was on commentary again. So don't worry about it.
Fair enough. I did my shoutouts yesterday.
Just watch the VODs.
But yeah, really quickly, I'll shout myself out again. You can find me at iswimfly556 on Twitch, iswimfly556 on Twitter, iswimfly.bsky.social, and iswimfly on YouTube. I mostly play Super Monkey Ball, which was the game I played yesterday. I picked this game up as a speed game. It's funny. I've been playing a lot of a game called Sea Frog lately, so there'll be a lot of that content coming soon. But yeah, that'll be it from me. Thank you so much for having me again.
GG's, and we'll be right back after a short break. What an epic run that was. I've never seen a squirrel with a gun do so much chaos in just a short amount of time. That was absolutely incredible. And if you would like to donate to see more crazy runs coming up here, we have Slime Rancher, any percent glitchless co-op with the wonderful Selfcouth Mind and Osborne coming up next on No Glitches Allowed. Also, if you would like to help us out for future events, we always accept volunteer applications before our events open. They typically run alongside submissions and are announced on our Discord, and Twitter, and Blue Sky. So make sure to follow all of our socials, join our Discord for your chance to help out in our next events. For anyone just joining us, you are watching No Glitches Allowed 2025, which is an annual charity event featuring speedruns that rely more on execution of intended mechanics rather than game-breaking glitches. No Glitches Allowed will be live from Wednesday, April 23rd to Sunday, April 27th, meaning we only have 2 more runs tonight and a full day of runs tomorrow left. If you would like to see our full schedule, you can type !schedule in chat and see which runs you want to tune in for. I recommend all of them. Slime Rancher will be coming up momentarily, so get ready for all the cuteness in the world as we farm our little slime boys.